Bob Nichols wasn't a tennis maestro, he was a tennis machine.
There's one thing you get from Nichols if you don't get anything else, and it's an idea about you don't miss.
He always talked about footwork and conditioning. Early on in the tennis season, he would gather the whole team together. I believe this was my 10th grade year, and we were on the courts, on the back courts at Westminster, and he said, "Boys, I'm going to tell you right now, I think I can beat each one of you without a racket."
He played me that day in his tennis whites with his tree-torn canvas shoes without tying them. And while he was beating me 6-0, he had this little smirk on his face and a twinkle in his eye. And I knew then that my life on the tennis court would be forever changed.
On the cruel, slow Bitsy Grant clay, Bob Nichols mastered stroke production and the secret of singles.
His approach to the game was not so much brilliant shots, but just don't make mistakes, play within yourself, and grind out victories. And to demolish somebody physically just because they couldn't hang on out there for a million years was one of his great joys in life, I think. And to see him carry it off with cramps and stuff like that, it was a sort of a Darwinian approach.
From there, a very good juniors career blossomed into a very, very good college career at Georgia Tech.
Bob enrolled at Georgia Tech, and that's when he really got good. One match that I remember that Bob played was in the early 60s. He was playing in a tournament here in Atlanta. I think it was the Atlanta Invitational. He drew the #2 player in the United States, a gentleman by the name of Tut Bartson, who had just won the previous 3 years the U.S. National Clay Courts. Bob extended Tut Bartson to 3 sets, and after the match, he told Bob, "You know, Bob, I think there are only a couple of players in the whole United States that can beat you on clay."
Nichols still claims the second all-time highest winning percentage at Georgia Tech and was eventually named All-American. Even after Tech, but before the big professional paydays, Nichols played in and won state and southern tournaments. But it was the afterlife of a very good playing career that put the cap on a Hall of Fame career.
He's coached to me despite the letters that now precede his name, as in Big R, Doctor. And I have no idea, if someone asked me who Dr. Bob Nichols was, I would not know, because he's coached me.
I met Coach Nichols in 1972. I was on his very first Young Harris tennis team. And what a great experience it was, completely different from anything else I'd ever done.
A life in coaching was the calling for Bob Nichols. First at Westminster, then Gainesville Junior College, and finally Young Harris College.
Bob was an outstanding tennis coach, won a 2 state championships in the 9 years that he was our tennis coach, was selected as the Coach of the Year 4 times, had a tremendous impact on the students that he taught and the team members that he had.
His Young Harris team won 2 Georgia Junior College Athletic Association championships over a decade of coaching. Eventually, Young Harris College named the tennis complex in his honor.
And this tennis complex that we're standing in front of was named in his honor last year, in his wife's honor, because of the dedication and the commitment and the valuable experiences that they had at this school and that the school had from their participation.
But the great coaches win more than titles, and to the hundreds of players and thousands of summer campers,
The people he's taught, he's meant more to, I think, than almost any other teacher that they ever ran into, because his approach, he would, if you come to me for help, I'll take whatever time it takes to teach you what you need to know or what you think you want to know. And he followed that out, and he won the Teacher of the Year award so many times up at Young Harris, like all through the 90s.
He didn't just know me as a tennis player, he knew me as a person, and I always appreciated that. And he always asked questions about me, my life outside of tennis, how my family was doing. I said, that's a great model for me, to try to get to know the whole child, the whole person. And he would always try to get to know Scoot Diamond, not just the tennis player, not just the very mediocre math student, but Scoot Diamond, the whole person.
Students on the tennis court, whether it be in his tennis camps or as players on his teams at Westminster, Gainesville Junior College, and Young Harris College. It's been a true honor and a pleasure to know Coach and to become part of that family which so look up to him.
On a very dark and black day, I called Coach and I said to him, Coach, I'm really sick. I need your help. And the first words out of his mouth, without a moment's hesitation, was, Suzanne, where are you? I will come get you. And that still makes me cry today because I know he would not just do that for me, he would do that for so many people. And that is just, I don't know how many of us have people like that in our lives.
Congratulations to Bob Nichols, a 2013 inductee into the Georgia Tennis Hall of Fame.